everyone, this is Sid here and welcome back to another video. Basically, today I'm going to be showing you guys all of my Inktober drawings for 2025. If that sounds fun and interesting to you, then please stay tuned and stick around. And without further ado, let's get started, shall we? So basically, if you've been on my channel for any length of time now, you probably know that every single October I like to do Inktober, which is a very cool and fun challenge where each day of the month you draw something and ink it out related to the month of October, based on a list of prompts that is given out at the beginning of the month. So yeah, very cool and exciting challenge, and I like to participate in every fall and autumn season, and I also usually get my grandmother to tag along with me because my grandmother is also an artist as well, and I like to think that at least part of my talents came from her. She is a really good artist, so I like to ask her to do it with me. And yeah, obviously since there are 31 days during the month of October, there are 31 images in total, but I might not show all of them today depending on how long this video gets. If it does get over like 20 minutes long and I'm not close to finishing, then I might just like split it in half or something like that. So yeah, we'll just have to play it by ear. But anyways, it's a sight to behold, guys. I have like my iPad right in front of me so I can look at all of my grandmother's drawings. I have my folder in front of me as well so I can look at all of my drawings, and then I'm also holding up my phone so I can record the audio. But before this gets too chaotic, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So the first prompt for this challenge was mustache, and basically I'm not too creative when it comes to things, but I did try to be as creative as possible. I really like video games. I am a gamer girly, so when I thought of mustache, the first thing I thought of was, it's me, Mario. So I drew Mario right here. He looks very cute and adorable, and obviously he has his really big thick mustache. And Inktober, the whole thing is that like you draw the lines and you don't color it in, but a lot of the times you can color with like grayscale and stuff. So a lot of my drawings last year I left them blank and like didn't really color anything in, but I tried to color in all of my drawings this year just in like black and white, you know? So I colored in his hair and his eyes gray to give it more like depth and dimension and contrast and all that great stuff, you know? So yeah, and then my grandmother's right here. She just drew this little guy with a mustache as well. He looks very interesting. And yeah, the next prompt that we had was weave, and I really like a lot of these prompts and how creative and interesting it is, because if you have two people doing it like me and my grandmother, then you can interpret the same word in different ways, which is part of the reason why I got my grandmother to do the challenge with me, because I interpreted weave like someone weaving something. Like I just drew this ancient Greek person. She's based on Arachne, who was like the person that arachnids are named after. She basically challenged Athena to a weaving contest, and obviously since Athena is a goddess and Arachne was a mortal woman, Athena won. So Athena turned Arachne into a spider. But that's sort of how I interpreted this, but my grandmother interpreted it in a different way. She basically drew like a weaving sort of like a mat or like a rug, which I thought was pretty interesting. This nice little pattern that must have taken forever to do, but it looks really good, so I really admire that. The next prompt that we had was crown, and as I said earlier, I am a gamer girly. I am a very big fan of like Mario and stuff like that, so obviously when I thought of crown, I thought of first King Boo and second Princess Peach. So I was trying to decide, should I draw Princess Peach or should I draw King Boo? But since this all was taking place around Halloween time and I do have lots of Halloween spirit, I did decide to draw King Boo because King Boo is obviously a ghost. So here he is right here with his big jewel on top of his crown, looking very cute and spooky. And my grandmother drew this a royal crown that looks very cool. I love all the gemstones and very cool like beady texture and all that great stuff. The next one was murky, and I did break the Inktober rules a little bit because I did color this one in with like brown and stuff to try to make it look more murky, but I also did this really cool like grayscale thing using filters on my phone where I flipped all the colors to make them black and white. So that looks really, really cool. My grandmother also did a similar sort of thing. Basically, I drew like a submarine under the water, and she drew like a shipwreck under the water. We both thought murky was sort of like the depths of the ocean and all that great stuff. And yeah, the next one was deer, and I didn't really know what to draw for this one other than just a deer, which I thought would be too basic and boring, but my mom suggested that I draw a cute little reindeer, so that's what I did, and I think she looks pretty adorable. And I also drew this little elf girl sitting right next to her, so yeah. My grandmother just drew like a deer in the headlights, which looks very, very cute. The next one we had right here was Pierce, and I didn't really know what to draw for Pierce, so I just drew like an arrow piercing through the sky. And this little archer girl, sort of like Merida from the Disney movie Brave, trying to hit like a target and get the bullseye and all that great stuff. My grandmother just drew like someone piercing through a pumpkin like they were gonna make a jack-o'-lantern. So yeah, that's pretty interesting how we had different interpretations of that one as well. The next one we did was Sea Star, and basically I drew this little mermaid right here who has like a sea star on her bra, and my grandmother drew this sea star with a big like Illuminati eye in the middle of it. I don't know why my grandmother really likes these like huge eyes to draw. She even gave me like a little bracelet with an eye on it as well. But I thought it was cool how we both interpreted that one in different ways. And yeah, the next one was Reckless, and basically I just decided to draw a little guy who had gotten himself hurt pretty badly. He got pretty banged up, you know. He has like a black eye, lots of band-aids and scars and stuff all over, untied shoelaces because he's always falling down and tripping over himself, a cast on his shoe, and a sling over his arm. So you can tell he definitely got into a lot of trouble. And then my grandmother drew this one guy who accidentally crashed his truck into the side of a tree. Oh no! So that's pretty fun. Next was Heavy, and going back to my love of Greek mythology and all that great stuff, I basically just drew Atlas trying to hold up the world, but in a more cutesy cartoon way, you know? So he's really struggling to lift up all the world and the continents and all that great stuff. And my grandmother drew this guy holding up 2 dumbbells, but if you can see, the dumbbells actually weigh 2 tons, which is kind of insane, you know? Like, that is crazy. That would be equivalent to like 4,000 pounds. So that's just insane to think about. And yeah, the next one was Sweep. So I just drew this cute little maid girl with her little broom, trying to sweep up all the leaves and stuff that had been falling around and all that great stuff. And my grandmother drew this witch holding a broom and sort of sweeping off to the side of her rug. And yeah, I thought both of those were pretty cool. Moving on to the next one, we had Sting, and I drew this really big like yellow jacket. It was really interesting because I never really draw bugs or stuff like this, but it was really good practice. I think it turned out pretty good as well. And then my grandmother, I always think when I think of Sting, I think of like bumblebees and stuff stinging you, but my grandmother actually drew a scorpion, which is pretty cool. Scorpions are actually considered arachnids because they have 8 legs, which is a very interesting little fun fact right there, which makes me wonder, would an octopus be considered an arachnid? Because an octopus also has 8 legs, but I guess an octopus is like a marine animal. I guess that has something to do with it. I don't really know. But yeah. The next one we have right here is Shredded, and when I think of Shredded, I don't know why, I always think of like a really ripped, buff, beefy guy, you know? Because my dad's like, oh, that guy looks so shredded when he sees like a really athletic person, so I always think of that. But obviously I did not want to draw like any sort of buff bodybuilder because that's just not like what I do. So instead, my mom gave me the great idea and suggestion. She said for me to draw a shredded chicken taco. So I decided to do that, like shredded lettuce, shredded cheese, all that great stuff. So here's my little shredded choco. I think it looks really, really cute and yummy. And yeah, you can see all the ingredients inside and all the steam coming up from the top and all that great stuff. My grandmother did not draw any shredded, but I didn't decide to push her because I think she was at the beach at this time, which, like, first of all, who goes to the beach during October? But second of all, have fun, Grandma. I love you so much. And yeah. But the next one we had right here was Drink, and obviously since we did this during October in the fall and autumn season, and the most trendy drink of all time during that part of the year is the pumpkin spice latte, I obviously had to draw myself a little pumpkin spice latte, so that's what I did right here. My grandmother drew herself a little Coca-Cola, which is pretty cool. Fun fact, but the state that I live in, which is the state of Georgia, is actually where Coca-Cola was first invented. So you can thank us for your favorite little soft beverage. And yeah, just a fun little tidbit of trivia right there. The next one that we both did was trunk, and for my trunk I drew a little treasure chest type thing, like a big trunk of cool treasures and stuff. So I have like lots of gold coins and like beads, necklaces, pearls, all of that great stuff. A nice goblet cup in there and a little sword sticking out as well. So this is like a pirate's treasure. But my grandmother actually took a different approach and drew in elephants, because you know, elephants obviously have their big huge trunks and all of that great stuff. So I thought that was pretty interesting as well. And then since I am approaching like the 15-minute mark, instead of doing like a 30-minute video, I might just do 2 15 and 15 instead. This will be the last one for today. Basically, this prompt was ragged, so I decided to draw like a little Raggedy Ann doll, which was right here. Very, very cute, from like my mom's childhood and all that great stuff from the old times. But I thought she was just really, really adorable. And yeah, I also decided to draw Ragatha around the same time. So Ragatha is a character from the Amazing Digital Circus, and she is based off of like a Raggedy Ann doll. So I thought that was pretty cool. And my grandmother basically just drew like this little ghost spirit lady with a very raggedy looking outfit. And yeah, but if you guys enjoyed watching this video and enjoyed seeing mine and my grandmother's art for Inktober, then please click like and subscribe, because it always helps us out so much when you do, and we really, really appreciate it. It also helps you to stay tuned and get notified every single time that we post a new video. So when I do post part 2 of my Inktober's for this year, you will be the first to know, and you will never miss out on a single new upload. I, unlike most other YouTubers, upload videos multiple times every single week, and I upload shorts multiple times every single day. So no matter what, I can almost guarantee you that you always have something fun and interesting to watch, and you will never be bored. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Always remember that I love you, and goodbye, eat more waffles, and peace out, Girl Scouts. Hope you had a great Halloween, and happy Thanksgiving!